Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Wednesday, May 19, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. UAB vs Georgia. UAB quarterback Tyler Johnson was almost perfect, going 17 for 21 for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tree Shropshire caught 5 passes for 128 yards and a touchdown, while Jarrett Prince and Rahi Johnson-Sanders each caught touchdown passes for UAB. Also, Jermaine Brown rushed for 78 yards and a touchdown. The Blazers have no injuries coming into their game with Georgia, which is good because they will need all hands on deck when facing the Bulldogs. UAB only yielded 156 yards of total offense to Jacksonville State in a game where they shut down the rushing and passing attack. There was nowhere to go with the football. Bulldogs fans are probably reading that last sentence with a stank eye, because no one would dare compare a Conference USA team to an ACC juggernaut program like Clemson. My first betting advice is to pick Georgia Bulldogs. In fact, the offense didn't even muster a touchdown. The Bulldogs' only time in the end zone came on a 74-yard pick six by Georgia defensive back Christopher Smith in the first quarter. That proved to be all the offense they would need. Quarterback JT Daniels was 22 for 30 for 135 yards and an interception. Brock Bowers caught 6 passes for 43 yards, while Zamir White rushed for 74 yards. The Bulldogs had 256 total yards. The Bulldogs have quite a few injuries, as wide receivers Dominic Blaylock and Eric Gilbert are questionable, and George Pickens is out. Also, tight end Darnell Washington is questionable as is defensive back Tyke Smith. UAB's defense should put up a better fight than expected because something is wrong with Georgia's offense. They're obviously still trying to figure everything out, and the Blazers are clearly no pushover on the defensive side of the ball. No, they didn't knock off a playoff contender, but they took care of business in their shutout win over Jacksonville State. My second betting advice is to pick under 46. Temple vs Akron. Temple were thrashed in their season opener 61-14 by Rutgers, a bad start to a season they would have been desperate to start well after 2020. Temple managed just 261 yards of total offense along with 5 turnovers. As the Zips were unable to cover, they are now 1-4 against the spread over their last 5 games despite being a massive underdog in most matchups. After overs were an even 3-3 for the Zips last season, Saturday's opener at Auburn easily went over the betting total of 56.5 points. My first betting advice is to pick Akron +7. Still early in the season, but the Zips will not take too much confidence from a 60-10 thrashing at the hands of Auburn in the season opener. Akron did not score until the 4th quarter. After going just 2-5 against the spread a year ago, Temple didn't come close to covering on Saturday, and each of their last 5 losses have been by 3 touchdowns or more. Saturday's game went well over the betting total of 52 points to snap a run of 3 unders in the Owls' previous 4 contests. My second betting advice is to pick under 52.5. Quick reminder, you can get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on our partner sportsbook BetUS after you open an account using our link down below and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES when making your deposit. Ball State vs Penn State. Ball State scored 31 points in their last game. They threw for 188 yards and rushed for 216 yards in the win. The Nittany Lions hit their stride in the second half of the game and pulled away with a 16-10 victory. That isn't to suggest a run-in with the Cardinals will be a cakewalk. They did hold Western Illinois to only 67 yards on the ground. So it could be another game where Penn State is forced to survive under a one-dimensional approach with Clifford at quarterback. Drew Plitt completed 60.7% of his passes for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. Will Jones led the team with 93 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, while Justin Hall led the team with 8 receptions for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's fine and dandy for the Nittany Lions, as long as their defense continues to make plays. Linebacker Ellis Brooks was all over the field against the Badgers, and defensive end Arnold Ebiketie had 2 tackles for a loss and 1 sack. Things will get ugly in a hurry if they can sniff out Ball State quarterback Drew Plitt under center. Penn State also played well defensively, giving up 21 points. They will need to do a better job if they want to pull off the upset. My first betting advice is to pick Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State didn't look good offensively in their first game, scoring 16 runs in the win. They threw for 247 yards and rushed for 50 yards in the win. But the Cardinals could also play keep away with their rushing attack. They found success on 47% of their third down conversions last season, which will need to be a similar mark for them to knock off Penn State in this game. The best defense is keeping Penn State's offense off the field. That means another steady rushing diet of Will Jones and Carson Steele. Sean Clifford completed 54.5% of his passes for 247 yards and 1 touchdown. Noah Cain led the team with 48 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, while Jahan Dotson had 5 receptions for 102 yards and 1 touchdown. My second betting advice is to pick under 58. California vs TCU. The California Golden Bears defense had a decent showing in their opening game against Nevada, as they allowed 22 points on 373 total yards, 312 passing, 61 rushing. A key number is if they were able to get the opposing offense off the field on third down, and the Wolfpack went 6 for 16 on third down and converted their only fourth down attempt. They did force an interception in their first game, so this team can be a little disruptive with their secondary. TCU did exactly what they needed to do against Duquesne. They dominated from start to finish on both sides of the ball. However, they'll fall back down to earth against a better defensive team in California, but they also have an opportunity to turn this game into a statement performance if they can keep their offense rolling. If they can continue to improve, it will really help this defense take that next step here. Junior quarterback Max Duggan is going to have to play with his head on a swivel in this game. The last thing the Horned Frogs need is him getting pounded to the point where he's seeing ghosts in the pocket and making the wrong reads. My first betting advice is to pick TCU Horned Frogs. Things won't get any easier against TCU, either. They aren't blowing anyone away with their pass rush, but they have been disciplined for the most part in their run defense. That could put quarterback Chase Garbers in a bit of a bind in his second outing. The TCU Horned Frogs took advantage of a weaker Duquesne Dukes offense as they gave up 3 points and forced the Dukes to be 3 of 11 on third down and failing to convert on their only fourth down attempt. They were shutting down everything as Duquesne had a total of 6 first downs and allowed 137 total yards, 76 passing, 61 rushing. Their defense showed the ability to force turnovers as they picked off a pass and recovered a fumble. If they can use this momentum to step up here, they will be in a great spot this season. The Golden Bears clearly trust him with the ball in his hands, but he's going to have to do better than 177 passing yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception on 38 attempts. That isn't going to cut it against this TCU team. My second betting advice is to pick over 48. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.